Hello, everyone, and welcome to this group, Trauma-Informed Somatic Coaching with Yoga, with me, Aneta Itchak. I wanted to come and say hello to you. I haven't been around for a while, and I had all these plans about at the beginning of the year to really be much more present in the group, and then you might be aware that I've been really ill and ended up going to visit my family in Poland, and ended up having blood transfusions and operations and all of that. And short visit turned into over 3 weeks. And so I want to say thank you so much for your patience. And I want to say thank you for all the lovely messages that I received from so many of you from this community. Thank you so much. And it's been really lovely to hear your lovely words of, well wishes and just support in general, which was really great. And now that I am back in UK, in Ramsgate, on the coast where I live, feeling much better, only now I can look back and notice how my energy was getting worse over the last few months, and how my capacity, not just the nervous system capacity, but my physical capacity was getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And now, still being in recovery, still feeling like I need to really pace myself following my treatment and the operation, I feel much more energetic, and I have got much more vitality within me. And I've had so many different insights around it, and being away and actually having life-threatening situation means that it's the little way that, or big way, that life can just tap us on the shoulder and say, you need to pay attention, you need to change things. Life is very fragile, life is sacred, life is wonderful, but also you need to really pay attention. And so this is what I'm doing. And moving forward, I'm making changes in my business. I am going to be simplifying. I am going to making my business even more sustainable. This is something that if you've been following me for a while, you've heard me talk about. It's your business, if you are self-employed, whether part-time or full-time, your business needs to be sustainable, and it needs to be nervous system friendly. For me, the kind of principles around business, running of my business, and also how I work within my business, with my clients, with other practitioners that I mentor and coach, the way that I deliver the trainings through our institute, everything needs to be around those values, our values and the principles, and really about walking our talk. So not that we're just saying we are trauma informed, but that we act in accordance of trauma informed care, the principles of trauma-informed care. It's not that we are talking about, ethics. It's that behavior shows that around the boundaries, having clear boundaries, having providing safety, being professional, but taking care of ourselves as well. Not as the afterthought, but as a very, very important thing. And this is what I would like to invite you to do today. As we are finishing Q1 of 2024, as we are shifting into spring, the new season, is to really take some time to pause and review and really consciously decide, mindfully decide on how you're going to move forward through the spring and then through autumn and winter again. This is the practice that I do once a quarter, and I do this practice also in our quarterly seasonal planning retreats in one of my programs called the Embodied Business Mandala Mentorship, which is 1-year program. In addition to having weekly mentoring and coaching calls and the trainings, business trainings and the mindset trainings and the energetics trainings and stuff around the nervous system regulation and sustainability, we also have got those bigger quarterly workshops, retreats, as I call them, where we really review the past quarter and we refocus and plan for the next quarter. And this is not something that can be done and nice to have. This is something that is really, really important. If you are to work and run your business long term without burnout, and in most kind of conditions, like for example, I had to take almost 3 weeks off, and there was most of things that I could cancel or move a little further back, like the start date of our 160-hour trauma-informed somatic teacher and coach for women training certification. That was due to start in March, literally just after I was admitted to A&E in Poland, into the hospital, and had blood transfusions and operations. And part of me wanted to push through, and I also knew that I can't do that. And I could move it back. In fact, I needed to move it back. And that's what I did. And so we are starting on the weekend, 13th and 14th of April. And that can happen in life. Life is unpredictable. Things can happen. You might get ill, your loved ones might get ill, things might come up. And is your business set up in a way, is your work set up in a way that will support that? Or is there no wiggle room at all? And you will have to keep pushing through, or you will lose a huge chunk of your income. So really thinking about moving forward, because ultimately, and again, that's something that I talk a lot about, we need to become very, very good practitioners. So that's learning about our modality, become really good at what we do, develop those skills. And we also need another set of skills, which is business skills, and really learning about how to create and build sustainable and nervous system friendly business that is based around or that is based on the right kind of strategy for you and your strengths and how you work best and your clients, the mindset, energetic, so how you feel is actually aligned with your mindset, what you are trying to achieve, and your strategy and your vision and mission, and is also nervous system friendly. These are the kind of pillars for me that need to be in place for you to be able to work long term and have a sustainable business. If you don't have those, then I would encourage you to take a step back and actually think about it, how you can build your business around those pillars. And one of the things that I know is that I wouldn't be able to do it on my own, because I've been working with mentors and coaches and being part of mastermind groups for many years now. I've done a lot of courses, but it's not the courses, it's the information bit, the strategy bit is a small part. The biggest part within that is the mindset, embodied mindset, which is the mindset and energetics. And that's where most of us get lost. We get lost in our beliefs. We might believe something consciously, but unconsciously we might have other beliefs. There are parts of us that want one thing, other parts that want other things. And often we will get stuck and we get lost in our own mind, in our own beliefs. And so this is where it's really great to have support around you, somebody that will point out things to you, being part of the community, being part of group of people doing similar kind of thing. This is one of the most beautiful things that I been witnessing in both of the programs, in the trauma-informed somatic teacher and coach training certification and in the Embodied business Mandala mentorship. And these are the two programs that I will be focusing on, because what I realized when I was ill is that those two programs really nourish my soul. They really allow me to connect with other women and female practitioners through real deep understanding, through deep support, and being part, holding space in those programs and witnessing so many insights and witnessing so many shifts, like real deep, profound shifts, not just for those practitioners' work, but for their life, for their growth, individual growth, for their families, for their own healing, for the healing of their families, their children, and their ancestral healing, for really healing that happens and the connection that happens within their communities because of their own growth and healing. It's really truly sacred. And coming back to this understanding, moving away from this misunderstanding of the split that we are always conditioned around in our Western society, the body and mind, and body and soul, and spiritual and material or physical, and really moving beyond that and understanding that everything is sacred, everything is life, everything exists within that interconnectedness, and everything exists within, I call it systems thinking, whether it is your own body, that is one big system made of lots of different little systems, whether it is your support system, your environment, your family, your community, or whether it's the earth on the whole. And really understanding that interconnectedness, and the more we work towards working with wholeness for ourselves, for our communities, for our clients, that's where real healing takes place. That's where we move from this fragmented parts of selves into more of a cohesion, into more of connection with ourselves and with others. And just pondering on the sacredness of life, pondering on how to bring it all together. And one of the ways that, there are a few ways that I work with it in the training. So one of the things is that we talk a lot about systems thinking, like really moving away from individualism into systems thinking and into understanding that within the system, the way that things operate within the system is different than if we split it into little neat boxes as the mind wants to, and we deal with one individual thing itself. And this is something that I understood a very long time ago, even before I started, about 30 years ago, when I started initially doing training, and I did systems thinking and coaching, and then I moved into social care, and then I did my majority of my training was around biopsychosocial approach. And I've worked with families, and it's like, how does it? I had a lot of training around families and family dynamics and systems dynamics, and it's a really different way of approaching it. And then when you bring the spiritual approach, the life itself. That's what spiritual is. Moving beyond kind of dogmas, beyond the systems, but into real essence and energy of life. Then things really start looking in a different way. And within the training, within the trauma-informed somatic teacher and coach for women training certification, we also talk about the soma psyche and soul coaching model, and how do we bring those different tools and this wholeness, embodied feminine wholeness approach into working with our own needs and into working with our clients. And as I said, the impact of it is really profound. It's really going beyond beyond just the kind of self-improvement, beyond identity, into a real embodied sense of wholeness and presence. And, when that happens, other things happen as well, almost seemingly by themselves, but that comes from that connection within. And it's a really wonderful thing to witness and to experience. And one of the things that comes up for me is that it's not this like cathartic release. And often those shifts happen in a tiny little ways. That's what healing trauma is. It's not this cathartic big thing. I'm enlightened suddenly, but those little things that, oh, there is a different understanding. There is a different felt sense of something. Oh, that was different. That interaction was different, or that feeling was different, or that decision that I just made was different because I am different. And the whole system, the whole integration, the whole connection within is different because of that. And so I guess what I'm saying is I am experiencing it myself as well through having this reminder of, that life is very precious, and that life is ultimately, everything is about life. And with everything that is happening around the world, with all the data and the information that is flying at us, sometimes it's easy to disconnect from it, disconnect from that sacredness of life and what it means, and get lost in busyness and productivity and hustling and struggling and trying to survive. And so I will be coming in and sharing some stuff that I hope you will find useful, and some resources, some mini trainings. But there are already quite a lot of resources on my website, and you might have seen or not, I have got a new website. It's been really lovely to create and work on that project, and I will leave the link with this video. Go and check it out. I've already been sharing the blogs from that website. I've already been sharing the past video trainings. There is a free resources page with free video trainings and some other resources that you can sign up for, just watch. There are also some contact numbers in there, because I know that timing is everything. When we are signing up for something, when we are working with somebody, sometimes it's not the right time. Sometimes we don't have those extra resources, financial resources, to sign up to work with somebody. And I don't want that to be the thing that stops you from learning and, utilizing those resources. So this is why I share a lot of free stuff. And I have been doing it for many years now, and I hope you find it useful. There is one other thing that I wanted to say. We are coming to the end of the cohort 2 slowly coming to the end of the cohort 2 of trauma-informed somatic teacher and coach for women training certification. And I am reaching out to practitioners who completed at the beginning of the year with the initial beta cohort, and to practitioners who are now coming to the end, towards the end of the training. And I will be running a special mini series as part of my podcast called Be One of the Voices. And that is about conversations with those female practitioners who have who are either participating or have participated in the training, and really having the conversation about how the trauma-informed somatic approach to teaching and coaching has changed the way that they work and the way that they live. And so I will be sharing that with you. Hopefully you will find it useful, because ultimately I really want to celebrate those practitioners. I really want to celebrate their courage, their commitment to themselves and to their clients and their communities, and their courage to just do things in a slightly different way. Because ultimately that is the path less traveled, the road less traveled. And to really finding their own unique voice, to really finding a way that works for them, that comes from being in self-leadership, that comes from embracing the feminine side as well as the masculine side, creating something really unique for themselves. And this understanding that we do not have to be the best. We do not have to be the loudest. We do not have to be the most educated. We do not have to be the one that produced or wrote the most books. We do not have to be the one with most credentials. All we need to do is to be one of the voices in this really important conversation, in this way that creates change, at whichever level you feel called to. That could be at the grassroots level, that could be through your work, through your community, through however you use media, whoever you speak to, however you share your work. That could be on the government level, if this is what you are called to do. Could be at the international level, could be at the local level, could be online, could be offline. I think this is something that is our individual soul calling, and we can choose for ourselves to do that. But we can only do this if we start with ourselves, if we start from within, if we start with our own healing and growth as a person, and obviously as a practitioner. Only then we can show up in a way that is right for us. And as everything else, it's a journey. I know that people say it's a cliche, but ultimately, life is a journey. And there are many things that we don't control, and there are many things that we do control. And one of them is how we take care of ourselves and our needs, how we use our inner resources, how we build our inner resources, how we choose to heal and grow, and how we connect with others around us, in what way, the choices that we make. And in a sense, understanding the sacredness of life doesn't mean that we can stop being boundaried, that we just say yes to everything, or that we allow others abuse us or breach our boundaries. In a sense, it's the opposite of that. In a sense, it's that we have got even more power to choose, but we also have got even more responsibility to have those clear boundaries, to really stand up for what we believe in, to really stand up for what is right, and to really enjoy life and share our passions with others. And so I hope that's helpful, and I hope you will find some time to pause and reflect on how you want to move into spring, how you want to move into the rest of the year, how you want to work, what kind of support you need, how can you support yourself, so that inner resourcing, and what kind of support you need around you, and that you find a way that is right for you as you move forward for your own benefit and benefit of others. And again, thank you for joining this group, and I look forward to continuing to connect with you as we move forward into the spring. Take care for now.